On the night of December 30th, year 2000, Mikio Miyazawa, his wife Yasuko, and their children Niina and Rei were murdered during a home invasion by an unknown assailant. This case would soon be known as the Setagaya family murders, which remains unsolved to this very day. Hi everyone, today we'll be talking about the gruesome unsolved murders that rocked the Japanese nation to its core. So if you're interested in dark and mysterious stories, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notification buttons to stay updated on all of our latest videos. Let's continue. At 10:40 AM on December 31st, year 2000, the bodies of 44-year-old Mikio Miyazawa, his 41-year-old wife Yasuko, and their children 8-year-old Niina and 6-year-old Rei were discovered by Yasuko's mother Haruko. Mikio, Yasuko, and Niina had been stabbed to death, while Rei had been strangled. Shockingly, after murdering 4 people, the killer would continue to stay in the house, using the family computer, eating the family's food, even taking a nap on their sofa. He also made it a point to turn the house upside down, not flushing the toilet after defecating and ransacking the family's belongings only to dump them into the exact same toilet. But first, let's go back to the start. When the Miyazawa family moved to Setagaya Street in 1991, the place was bustling with houses, with over 200 residential buildings scattered in the vicinity. The 4 of them, father, an office worker, Miyazawa Mikio, his wife Yasuko, a home tutor, daughter 8-year-old, and son Rei lived together. Soon, the family started to lose more and more of their neighbors, who sold their land to the city, as Tokyo already had plans for this area, and their plan was to expand the nearby Setagaya Park. By the time the year 2000 rolled by, there were only 4 houses left. One of them belonged to Yasuko's older sister, Anne. But for most of the time, it was occupied by the sister's mother. Anne and her son spent 8 years living in England and only got back to Setagaya in the spring of 2000. Her husband was an engineer at a big automobile company and was often overseas. So this nearly empty home was the place where Yasuko could tutor her students. She didn't have a lot of distance to cover. The 2 buildings were so close they could be mistaken for a semi-detached house. According to the most widely accepted version, the killer entered Miyazawa's house through a small window on the 2nd floor bathroom. His first target was Rei's bedroom, located right next to the bathroom. The killer found the youngest child, Rei, asleep and strangled him. Rei is the only victim killed by strangling, and the only one who doesn't have any stab wounds or bloodstain on his body, and is in the bedroom where the police found the most footprints. The next victim is thought to be the father, Mikio. Police assume that before the assault, he was working on the 1st floor. His body was found on the 1st floor, right next to the stairs. He was covered with many wounds, mainly in the thigh and buttock area. But stab wounds were also found on his arms, chest, and face. He died due to blood loss from his chest wounds. Police also found a fragment of the sashimi knife, the murder weapon, lodged in his skull. The last victims were the mother Yasuko and daughter Niina, who were sleeping together in the attic. They were stabbed multiple times, mainly in the face and neck area, first with a broken sashimi knife and then with an all-purpose kitchen knife. After murdering the whole family, the killer went to the kitchen area. He took out a few small cups of ice cream from the fridge. Instead of using a spoon, he squeezed the containers upwards and proceeded to bite off the ice cream. He also consumed some barley tea, while he also found a band-aid to patch up a wound on his right hand. The killer also rummaged through the family's documents from the storage room on the 1st floor. He pulled out all the drawers and took one of them to the 2nd floor bathroom, where he proceeded to dump the contents of the drawer into the bathtub. Yukio's personal belongings from her 2 handbags, Mikio's wallet, house keys, and various documents met a similar fate. The killer threw them into the toilet bowl where he previously defecated. Other items, like a white towel smeared with the killer's blood and an empty cup of ice cream, were also dumped in. But what we do know for sure is that the killer was still at the house at 1 AM, because at 1:18 AM he connected to the internet using Mikio's computer. During 5 minutes of usage, he created a new folder and visited a site that was bookmarked by Mikio, after which it seemed as though the killer vanished without a trace. Due to the unprecedented nature of the murders from the very beginning, a large group of police officers were involved. Supposedly, 280,000 police officers were involved in one way or another. At first, investigators were hopeful. The killer left fingerprints, footprints, and even a bloodstained towel, which showed he has an A blood type. Throughout the investigation, over 5 million people had their fingerprints checked. Police also tried out DNA testing, but all of this investigation led to a dead end. The killer left a lot of stuff behind in the living room. He left his fanny pack, where the police had found traces of sand, supposedly originating in southwest of America. This fanny pack was very well used. It was relatively small. It could fit an A5 notebook. It was produced in South Korea and sold in Japan from September 1995 to January 1999. In backlight tests, some traces of fluorescent agent as well as the killer's hair strands were found. Another key piece of evidence was the perpetrator's shoes. British brand Slezingers had produced this particular model of shoes in South Korea. It was sold in South Korea and Japan, but only South Korea sold the shoes in this size and it matched the killer's footprints. This is the second item originating from South Korea. The shoes weren't the only suspicious item. His nondescript, thin sweatshirt also caused quite a stir. In Tokyo, only 10 of them were sold in the now defunct stores called MX. Even if we count the whole country, perhaps only 130 of them were sold. The rest of the items that the killer left behind were largely anonymous, as they were bought from major retailers and could not yield much conclusive results. As of this video, the killer is still at large, some 22 years after committing these heinous murders. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Drop a comment down below on what you think of this video. If you have other stories you wish for me to cover, leave a comment and a link for me to look deeper into it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. I'll see you in our next campfire stories. Thank you for watching.